Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I'm coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. And in this one, our truck showcase for the week, we are doing the truck you see in front. Now normally I wouldn't have the truck bought and set up already, but I was doing a video of this earlier and I just train wrecked the whole video. From distractions to accidents to accidentally still being logged into Mumble, so people started talking all of a sudden, which freaked me out. To just when I got within 22 kilometers of my destination, the game crashed. So everything that had gone wrong with the video, I just decided I'm just going to do it over again. So that's why you're already seeing the truck here. So just to show you, I'm just going to go into drive it on this Scania. And that will allow us to take our Peterbilt 351 and I'll take it to the upgrade shop and show you the upgrades. There's no cabin change. There is a chassis change, and actually you buy the truck like this. The truck is available at a DAF dealership. So you just choose DAF. It'll be right there on the front page on the lower right hand corner. It's just about 32,000 euros to start. So it's a mod made to go in and be really, really cheap. And you can actually downgrade it, as you can see here, to a 4x2, or do the upgraded version of a 6x4 chassis, which will change your wheels here, but don't worry about that. These are the wheels that come with the mod. You can change these to match those. Your engines have quite a few different varieties. 370 horsepower, various 400 horsepowers, 500 horsepowers, 550, a couple other 350s. Now these different colors, as you can see here, the DD, these are actually different engine sounds. Yeah, and you know, this is the most powerful, the ISX 15. I'm going to try this. Somebody was saying that the DDs are actually the closest, so I'm going to go with this DD 500 horsepower engine. I'm not big on going over the other engine sounds. Basically, it sounds like what somebody has done is DD, Detroit Diesel, by the way. What sounds like somebody's done is they've taken the audio files from previous American trucks and connected them to the specific engines in the game. So this will be the Detroit Diesel sound. And of course CAT is Caterpillar, and I'm not sure what ISX is. So we're going to go with this Detroit Diesel here. Transmissions, you have quite a few options, all the way up to an 18-speed transmission. I use the Spicer 14-speed. It seems to have good low-end power, along with good high-end cruising speed, plus 4 reverse speeds. Your interior, you have 2 choices, despite having 6. You have this interior, which is my personal favorite, although it's a little more up... it seems a little more modern with the single gear shift, with the slide button on the side for the differential. And then you have this one, you see, with the twin gear shift, and this looks older and seems to fit the truck a little bit more. Yeah, seems to fit the truck a little bit more, and I prefer the other one, but I'm gonna go with this one. Can you like not? Thank you. I'm gonna go with this one here. Paints, you have your standard paints, blue, black, red. I'm not gonna choose them for the main reason of this is a custom color paint that I put on, and I'll explain why in a little bit. For options, up here you have this, and you can just put it in 2 different colors. Not a big deal. On this you can put either lights or horns. There is stuff for the interior. As you can see, there's a bullhorn there. There was a med bag on the floor. All of that can be put in the truck through here. So these are your front mirrors here, this one and this one, so you can put on those further out front mirrors. This is actually, as you can see behind the grill there, a cold weather cover for when you were driving in areas that were really cold. You would put that down over the radiator, especially you're driving so that your truck didn't get too cold and the diesel become too thick. It also helped warm up the engine when it started. It didn't bring in the cold air. You have the varying bumpers from the big solid metal. Oh yeah, I forgot, I don't actually want that on there. You have the bumpers, standard truck bumper there, and then you have the ones with the front markers. I prefer this bumper. That's the get the hell out of my way bumper. I prefer that very much. This middle selection right here, which you can only see in the front, doesn't make sense. This changes your stacks from tall, thin curve, straight, full straight pipe, to the standard truck, and then my favorite, the old short clappers. I really like these. They get the big clap on a clap cap, as I call them, up there. And then on the back, you can put some fender, you can add to the fenders a little bit. And then the tires, you have all your various tires. I'm afraid to push that one because there's no model and games tend to crash. But if you look up here, P351 chrome, and then just P351, and then chrome. I prefer the standard P351 because it sticks with the motif of the truck a little bit more. So that's all the options there. The interior options, again, there's the mirrors, and here, that's the bumper, apparently. Over here, this puts in this radio, this puts in the bag, this puts in like an AK-47 in the seat next to you, which I think is really stupid, but that's just my personal opinion, so I don't add it. And then you have the bullhorn speaker over there. No, whatever. So, let's drive it. Right. And I already checked the job market, so as long as it's there, and it's not. It changed after we rested. 385, that's actually not that bad. 22 tons, and then it gets really long. What about here? No. Here. The yacht's pretty cool, but it's, again, a long run. Tube, very long. Huh. But the thing is, if I fast travel there, everything will change, because I'd love to tackle that. Sadly, we're here, so 385, we're going to go with the Caterpillar trailer, just standard trailer. So, and it's raining, lovely. Yeah, it's definitely a different sound in the truck. I didn't mean to put it in gear. I actually have, because the other one was down lower, the other one was much noisier rather, I actually turned my volume down. So let me turn that back up. So yeah, this is definitely a different sound. So let's disengage the brake. We'll just hit the parking brake. We'll turn off our mirrors. I always do that. Oops. And then a quick look outside the truck. Actually, I want the brake back on. It actually looks kind of nice. Lights on, high beams. I like that idle sound. Alright, so let's get in and our stuff back on. Now the thing about this mod is your driver's side mirror is really far to the side. So this is what I recommend if you have a small mirror mod. Oops, wipers. That you actually use both floating mirrors. It's definitely a much quieter engine sound than the other one. Maybe before I log out, I'll check the other two engines and let you hear them. But we're just going to go with this Detroit diesel sound. Like I said, from what it seems like to me is somebody took the engine mod. You're turning, you're stopping, I'm going. Took the other engine mod from other engine mod. Took the engine sounds from other mods. That's what I've been trying to say. And put them to the to the corresponding engines in the game. Yeah. Thanks to the side pipes, I can't see the trailer that well, but we're hooked up. Let's get out of the... Okay. And we'll just take a quick look. We'll leave our mirrors and stuff floating. It actually looks pretty cool right there. That looks pretty damn cool. Outside sounds much better than the inside, for sure. We're actually not going to make this corner. That's all right. We don't have to jackknife the trailer. Definitely sounds much better outside than it does inside. I love that idle sound. Idle sound is so cool. I'm admiring the trailer and then the truck attached to it. It looks really, really nice. Ooh, careful. Yeah, I shouldn't be driving around like this, but I'm enjoying the sound of the truck and the look of it with that extra big, heavy trailer attached to it. Let's see. Alright. It does have that horn there, even if I don't agree with the way it sounds. That's the only horn, so that's off the air horn sound. It doesn't have another horn sound to it. Alright, we gotta get inside the truck. We can't keep driving it like that. We're also in the wrong lane. Now this truck, by the looks of it, You know, I'm not a major enthusiast, but I would say it's easily around the 1970s. But I could be wrong, but I just get the feeling it's like back in the 70s. Right. It's interesting that I'm getting, I wonder if I accidentally changed transmissions, because my kilometers are not going up very high versus what I was doing before. And I'm actually towing a lighter trailer. The last trailer I towed, trying to record this video previous, was 30 tons. Then again, I might have been running at a much higher RPM, because you're looking at American gauges, and the gauges aren't always dialed in to match the game. So I probably was running a much higher RPM on the engine that I was using. As a matter of fact, I know I was. I was running up around 2,000 RPM, but the truck did fine. The truck comes, before I hit that car, comes standard with 908 liters of fuel capacity. At, like I said, at 31,000, if you decide you want to use this truck, you know, in your game regularly, be very easy to get. You know, there's a lot of different motor and transmission options that are not very expensive. So this could easily be what I like to call a cheater truck. Now, is there anything wrong with a cheater truck? No. Can you, like, please? Thank you. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. You daring. You dared. Jerk. So, yeah, cheater truck. There's nothing wrong with a cheater truck per se. You know, if it's what you enjoy doing, it's fine. But what I mean by cheater truck is it's very inexpensive to buy, because that's the way the mod sets it up. And it's very inexpensive to upgrade. You know, I would personally just use it as a fun truck. Once I got established and was easily able to buy trucks, I'd put it in my game and I'd give it to one of my drivers, and I'd come around and I'd drive it occasionally, you know. That's basically how I'd work. But that's just my personal preference, you know. You don't have to worry about for yourself. Now, if you want to drive by the standard in-truck GPS and not have your GPS up, that's fine. As you can see, the GPS on this dashboard is in a really nice spot, and on the other dashboard it's in a really good spot either. It's a little bit more to the right, towards the middle of the dashboard, but it's still I'm way too low. But it's still you know, in a very usable spot, so there's no problem with that. However, because this is an American truck, you're going to be looking at miles per hour. That gear shift is honestly distracting. Because as you see, it's shifting over into another gear. Even after it's shifted into gear, it slowly slides back into a position based on what it looks like, how I'm turning. So that is an issue with this interior. However, the other interior of the truck does not have that. And actually, the other interior of the truck, you know, the windows are cut different, the view's different. So it really comes down to personal choice. But at least with the other interior, although maybe not looking as more to the truck as this one is, in my opinion, you won't have to deal with annoying gear shift, although given a couple trips you'd probably easily get used to it, I'd say. I mean, that thing responds to everything I do. Stepping on the gas, hitting the brake, turning a corner. It's actually pretty distracting. Toll booth, lovely. Just what I needed. Whatever. I appreciate what they tried to do with the gear shift. It just doesn't work. So far, I am enjoying the truck, though, I must say. It drives really smooth. It's not difficult to handle at all. It feels very stable. Overall, it's a really nice mod. It's got a few quirks, but not many mods don't. Especially when trying to convert such a different truck into a game that was never meant for it, you know? There's not supposed to be, there's not supposed to be, nosed American trucks in this game, let alone with the different sounds, wipers, windshields. So whenever I drive one of the American mod trucks, I always expect, you know, a few bugs, because again, you're not just taking some existing assets and reskinning or remodeling and whatnot. You know, it's a little bit more involved to get the vehicle like this into the game, I would suppose. As you see, we've gotten up to 107. The other engine that I was using, the 600 horsepower in the first video, much stronger, much faster. I was easily cruising at 130 without realizing it. Even though I'm still in the green on this one, you know, the engine sound, you know, really lets me know that I'm cruising it. Now, I really feel like that's a little bit more of the mods, the mod not being paired up with the engine sound correctly. Because again, I'm pretty sure that this engine sound is taken from other trucks. Now, that's not to say, and I'm not accusing that the guy who made this mod stole the engine sounds from other people. For all I know, he was the one that created these sounds, along with other trucks and older mods, and did the extremely genius thing of pairing up. It's all moved. You know, did the extremely genius thing of pairing up. No, you don't. Not running into you. So I was trying to say, did the extremely genius thing of pairing up the engines with the different engines with the different sounds in the game. So you actually have 3 different engine sounds to choose from in the game, depending on what you want, which, despite there not being a lot of overall personalization in the game, that is a personalization that no other mod has, that I know of. That you can actually choose if you want Caterpillar, Detroit, or whatever the ISX is. I really don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to represent the Cummins diesel or not. But you know, you get your choice between 3 different engines, 3 different sounds. That's a whole new level of personalization. Which one do you like more? Do you like the Detroit? Do you like the Caterpillar? You know? Maybe you like them all. You can drive with one for a while, swap it around. Drive around with a 500 horsepower engine. Oh, hey, look. There's a really big, sorry, I had to scratch my head there. There's a really big trailer, you know, this big 70-ton train that's got to move out, and I got a 500 horsepower engine. Hey, no problem. Stop into a garage, 12,000 euros, which is usually pretty easy to afford, especially if you're playing the base game. You know, 12,000 euros. Ugh, I can't even think of what I was saying. You know, okay, now I got to straighten out. I apologize. 12,000 euros, you pull into a garage, swap it out for the 600 horsepower ISX engine, and there you go. You know? I have another scratch to take care of, so that's why I'm drifting again. I apologize. Another itch to scratch, rather. You know, I was saying, you know, there you go. You switch it out, and you have a 600 horsepower engine that you use for the one trip, and then you pull in 12,000 euros, swap it back out, as long as you're making a profit. Or maybe you don't care about profits because you have a lot of money on your account, like this one does. I keep calling them accounts. They're profiles. I can't help it. I'm so used to dealing with Eve online and my 3 accounts. And I always talk about, you know, oh yeah, my other account, my main account, my industrial account. Hey. Let's get a outside view of the truck here. Not bad, huh? Not bad at all. Right back into the truck because we're going to be so close to that guardrail. Yeah, I just feel at 1500 RPMs that revs sounding a little too high. You know? Because that's still within the power band of the truck. But, again, I could be wrong. You know, I'm not entirely sure. Not a whole lot more for me to talk about, really. Just kind of sit back and enjoy the drive. Just, the gearing seems really different with the engine, and I guess it should be. When you put in a different engine and match it up with the same transmission that you had with a vehicle before, it's probably not going to act the same. there might be a bit of a difference to it. So, you know, I don't see a problem with it personally. I'm just find it interesting in the game that it is this much of a variation. Because like I said, right now I'd have been flying with the other engine going 130 kilometers without realizing it. That was one of the problems I was having. I would just get up so much speed, you know. This truck, you know, with this engine, provided I didn't change the trainee, is getting, you know, it's getting good speed. And it's got definitely low down grunt. This is a little more realistic to me, honestly, than the other one. The other one was like hauling 30 tons like it was nothing, you know, like I was just running bobtail. This just feels a little bit more realistic to me, you know. This just feels a little bit better. The sound, you know, when you're going up there, you know, 65, 70 according to the speedometer, you know, 100, 101 kilometers an hour, 110, you know. Although I think in reality you might get a little bit more sense of speed. Unlike the Duratrons that we did, where even at slower speeds it felt like we were flying on the highway because we had that big open view and we were really close to the ground with that big nose out in front of us, and the sensation that we're sitting up really high gives us a dampened sense of speed, if you know what I'm saying. So it just doesn't feel like we're going as quickly as we actually are. It actually feels like I'm going slow. When in reality, I'm, you know, up there in speed, especially for a truck. But I am really impressed by the mod. This mod is absolutely beautiful so far. Everything works on it. The windshields, all the mirrors, the steering wheel. It was a nice try of the gear shifter. It's a little glitchy, but I can't fault it too much for that. Like I said, even now with me, I've already gotten used to it on this run, and I don't see it unless I specifically think about it and look at it when I'm doing something. It's stable. It sounds good. It looks good. It looks like an old work truck, you know. This is something a lot more along the lines of what you'd actually experience as a freelance truck driver. When you go freelance, your first truck is not going to be new. You're going to drive something, I don't know if as old as this truck is, but you're going to be driving a used truck, not a new one, you know? You're going to be driving something used, and I really like that slowdown sound, that Jake brake sound it has. It's really nice. But yeah, you're going to be buying a used truck, an older truck, and you may eventually work your way up to a new truck, or you may not. You know, I don't see too many truckers that actually drive, or at least I didn't, from what I recall. Stopped way too far back. But yeah, you just, you know, you're going to have an older truck and you're probably going to stick with it a while. You know, maybe eventually you'll get the money and what you need to get a new truck, but in the long run, you know, it is what it is. Why don't we just fall behind this guy? We're pulling off the highway here in a minute. Just about at the end of our trip. It's been a really smooth run. I've been really happy with this one. Unlike the other one, which was just I kept wanting to put my hands in my face, my hands up to my face, and just shaking my head, you know. Listen to that power. That was really nice right there. This would be really fun to tackle one of those steep winding roads with. This would be a lot of fun to do that. Oops. It's a little bit more difficult for me to drive than the other trucks, like my man truck or whatnot, even the Durotrans, because it's been a long time since I've driven a large vehicle with a nose out in front of it, and I've never been fond of it. When I drove school bus and coaches, I'm always preferred to drive the coaches, not because they were more comfortable, had air conditioning and all that, although that was all really nice, and those could definitely be factored into reasons why. My main reason was the view. I had a much clearer, broader view of the road in front of me. So I didn't have to worry, you know, is there something in front of me that I can't see, making sure that the corners are right and all that. I mean, just adding a nose onto a vehicle like this adds so much dimension to it, and to me just makes it much more difficult driving, which is why I've always been a big supporter of cab over trucks, because you just have much better vision, and you're a lot less likely to have issues with the front of the truck, you know. Having an issue with the slowdown, it slows down really easily with this setup here. It looks like there's a garage right there. We should easily be able to pop over the garage and check out the two different engine sounds. I don't suppose you'd stay green for me, huh? Hey, close enough. Thank you. I don't know if I'll be able to back this in with this trailer plus the side pipes I have on it, but never say I'm not going to try. Hey, all right. Good enough. Alright, let's take it over to that garage and work with the engine, shall we? Seems not to marry up with the trailers as well. That's something I forgot to mention, and I'm sorry you've had to wait to this long to hear it, and hopefully you didn't stop the video after the run was done. This does actually come with a trailer pack as well. You can check it out on the website. So I've got to service the truck. It's just habit. I've got to do it. Alright, so we go to the upgrade shop. We choose engines. So let's go for the largest ISX engine here, the 600 horsepower. Okay. We'll confirm the order. In the truck, start it up. Hear the difference. Yeah, that's definitely different. This is the one I was using. Let's hear it from the outside. I don't like it as much as the other one, to be honest. Personally, so far, I like the Detroit diesel. So, I guess we'll do this. This looks like the biggest Caterpillar at the 550. Start it up. Oh, that's definitely different. Even a different backup sound. Stop sounds really nice. For me, they would be a toss-up between the Caterpillar and the Detroit diesel. I don't like the ISX one as much, but that's really interesting. You have different air sounds, different engine sounds, different air brake sounds. That's really, really, really nice. You know, if I'm going to nitpick this mod at all, there's only two things that bother me, and they're both nitpick. Number one, and the most prevalent, is the gear shift with the interior that we're using on this truck right now. I hate that gear shift just because it's moving randomly. It's a distraction. It's a major distraction for some people. It just will be. And that's just how it is. For me, I could probably ignore it. I mean, I was ignoring it pretty well through the trip, but it probably wouldn't be an issue. So I could use that interior. But, again, on the flip side, maybe you don't even like this interior. You can use the other interior where the gear shift doesn't move like that, and it's not going to be as distracting. You know, you're not going to have the distraction there. And the other thing is the fact that you could put the AK-47 gun into the seat next to you. I just really think that's a poor choice. I think that there's no reason for a mod like that at all. But again, that's nitpicking. That's just nitpicking. You don't have to put it there. Don't want it, don't click on it. Pretty simple. So because of that, because of those just being nitpicks, even with the low amount of selection in terms of full customization, I still got to give this truck an actual perfect 10 when it comes to the mod. It is beautiful. Especially being able to have 3 different engine choices with 3 different distinct sounds. Now, I'm pretty sure those sounds come from other mods, but again, as far as I know, this is the guy that created those mods. You know, so I'm not pointing fingers anywhere. I just think it's a really genius idea, whatever, you know, wherever and whatever those sound mods came from, that you actually have 3 different types of engines to choose from with 3 very different distinct sounds that include air brakes, that include jake braking, that, you know, the acceleration and everything about it, including the backup beeper. That was a nice touch. I found it really nice, really impressive, and it's a mod that I strongly recommend you give a try. If you're looking for that old style American rough truck that comes from the older days, the glory days, as you were, of truck driving, this is it. For right now, that is my recommendation. This is it. But again, don't just take my word for it. Only this time you should. There'll be a link down in the description below taking you directly to the mod. Give it a try for yourself. That's going to be me done for this episode, folks. I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Until next time, this is going to be One Big Bugger. I'm going to be signing out. Peterbilt 351,